Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nurse New Bully. Your host Leroy, aka Boo Boo the Fool, with my co-host.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Eli, aka Daddylicious.
There you go. Now the reason I want to do the Boo Boo the Fool thing because black people are always saying I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. So they always say they just like don't believe I'm a fool. So since nobody knows who Boo Boo the Fool is, I'm claiming him. It was me, Barry. It was me the whole time. Yeah, we are back into the episode, and yeah, even though yesterday has passed, we're on the new day, on a new day of the week. We wanted yesterday was a very important day, or just a special day that kind of like everything. It was like a convergence of things that happened today. First off, want to wish everybody belated Father's Day, Happy Father's Day. Belated to you, Eli, Happy Father's Day.
Good looking.
You know, saw pics with you with the kids earlier this week. So yeah. So yeah, shout out to the daddies, to the granddaddies, or if she calling you daddy, you're included. So yeah. I don't know if any ladies are listening to this, and hopefully you had a good Father's Day, but I do want you to stop doing this thing where you go online and asking people what should you get your, significant other for Father's Day. You know what he wants. I'm not going to go into detail. I don't want to get flagged, but you know what he wants. Stop being stupid. You're smarter than that. So let's just go past that. But yeah, not only that, let's just say everything that happened. Not only was it Father's Day, it was also Juneteenth. Which is why we got the banner going up right now. Black Power. Yeah. So yeah, if I do want to do my due diligence. Just want to say what's all going on right now. Like I said, for those who don't know what Juneteenth is, like I say, for those who don't know, in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, freed the slaves. However, they didn't tell the slaves, until June 19th, 1865, 2 years later. So the slaves were free, but didn't know they were free. So that happened in Galveston, Texas, spread out to everywhere else. And like I said, it was a thing, and people were trying to get a national holiday for like years and decades and centuries, but never really happened until last year, with your boy, Donald J. Trump, made it a federal holiday. I was gonna put a graphic up, but I don't want to put us on like a January 6th, watch list. So because I don't know how YouTube is tripping right now, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, that's going on. But this whole Juneteenth thing, even though, like I said, it's been around for thing I've been hearing about all my life, it feels like it's new. Like we really don't know what to do with it yet. Like we know what to do with Cinco de Mayo. We get fucked up. We know what to do with St. Patrick's Day. We get fucked up. You know what to do with July the 4th in a couple of weeks. We grill and we get fucked up. But can you do that on Juneteenth with a good conscience? Like, let's go get fucked up. You can, but it's not like how people like at Cinco de Mayo, like, hey man, after work, you want to get some drinks at Cinco de Mayo? Like we go to the Mexican restaurant. St. Patrick's Day, we go to the pub. Where do you go on Juneteenth? Sofa restaurant. I mean, we still figuring this thing out, man. Even today, Eli, like I was wishing people Happy Father's Day, but a couple times I was wishing people Juneteenth. Not everybody, certain people. Redneck Let's Go Brandon t-shirts. No, not them. But if I think you might have said it back, I'll do it. But that was weird. It was like a weird interaction. I say, Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth. They go back, Wakanda forever. Like you don't do the Wakanda forever salute during Juneteenth. I don't know why people are doing that, but whatever. So that's my thing. We'll get it together. Once we get it together, it will be a thing, and everybody will. I just want to know one thing. Trump made it a national holiday where it's a paid holiday. So I better see that shit on my check next week. Otherwise, we're gonna have issues.
Did you get the day off?
Hell no, I worked today. Well, yesterday, but yeah. Yeah, and still had time to do a podcast. That's what I'm dedicated. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next part of it. Now, like I said, I want to start off with that first, but now we got to get to what we're going to talk about, because we're also going to talk about a passing that happened. Now, like I said, it's not a household name, not a thing everybody knows, but if you listen to this podcast, you would know who he is. Let's jump into it. We're going to talk about rest in peace, Tim Sale. Now, the thing about Tim Sale is that for those that know who he is, we actually been hearing about it all week. Matter of fact, the Monday when we finished recording, we heard that he was sick. Didn't know the details.
A few days ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we knew he was in the hospital. They said, and they were even saying when he was in the hospital, like, hey, it's kind of serious. We don't know what it is, and I still don't know what it is. I didn't go into detail, but like I said, I guess a couple of days later, it was announced that he passed. So yeah. So want to go into detail. Who is Tim Sales? Of course, since you don't know who he is, Tim Sale is an artist. He's a comic artist for decades. I think he passed at 66. Did a lot of like inspirational work or influential work. Just on the Marvel side. Let's talk about the Marvel side for a second. I'm gonna see what I got here. Nope, that's not Marvel. That's not Marvel either. I'm screwing up. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, he did Hulk Gray. That's on the Marvel side. He did a whole bunch of color, like he named them color. It was like a series of anthology books he did for Marvel. Like he did Hulk Gray. He did not that. What am I doing? Spider-Man Blue. He did Spider-Man Blue. He did Captain America White, I think what it was. And I think it was like a 1940 story where it was like an old anthology story he was doing. Daredevil Red, he did that. So that's the thing he was doing. He was doing a lot of that. But now we're going to talk about what he did for DC, because even though like those works he did at Marvel was winning awards, stuff like that, it's his DC stuff that everybody knows him for. Like put his, made a name for himself. And that's because he did the most influential work he did was Batman: The Long Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just Long Halloween. He actually did like a bunch of other stories also. He did like a trilogy with Jeff Loeb, Batman: The Long Halloween, the one that everybody knows. That's the first one he did. But he also did Dark Victory. I think it was the name of it. He did Dark Victory. And he also did, nope, not that. This, Catwoman When in Rome. And that's the story where everybody like, oh, they just made that shit up for the movie that Catwoman is Carmine Falcone's daughter. No, it was in this book. It was, and this was back in like the 90s or the 2000s, something like that. So all that is comic related. And that's the thing what I wanted to get into, because like I said, a lot of people say that, Jeff Loeb, well, not Jeff Loeb, but the Batman, that new Batman movie, like The Long Halloween was an influential movie on that movie. And it was, you saw some influence on there, but I would go farther to say that the Dark Knight movie with Christopher Nolan actually was more influenced by The Long Halloween than the Batman was. I mean, just take some of the scenes we got here. Like I said, this scene right here where you got Gordon, Dent, and Batman standing on the rooftop talking about what they're going to do. They're going to do some less than legal shit, but they need Batman to basically be an outside, mercenary. Right out of comics. That whole scene. Matter of fact, the dialogue was out of that scene. Like when he disappears, he said he does that. That's all there, and that's what they agreed to, that stuff like that. Even when Joker was burning the money in a house, in a warehouse, right out of The Long Halloween, they did that also.
Deep diving on this shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I looked and I was just like, yeah, because I've always been thinking about that. Like The Long Halloween had a big influence on it. Even the fact that The Long Halloween, the story of that comic, not only was it a murder mystery, which people could say that could draw from the Batman, but also that it was basically a story about how the gangsters of like the mob went out and the supervillains went in.
Yeah.
And it's all Batman's fault. Like I said, that's the reason, because of the Long Halloween and the Dark Knight, because basically the mob was like, we can't handle the Batman. We need to outsource, just like the cops are outsourcing. And they outsourced to a guy crazy them that moved them out and made way for those supervillains like Bane and everybody else. So it's a very, very influential thing. So he made a whole lot of influence on everybody's favorite works, and they don't even know his name. That's comics for you.
Yeah. I mean, definitely top five Batman stories of all time, especially influential. When you talk about like everyone knows about Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke and maybe Year One, but this is right up there with that.
It's up there. Like, we want to talk about
Halloween.
Frank Miller, how he changed the game with Batman. Neil Adams changed the game with Batman. Tim Sale changed the game with Batman. Yeah. He flipped Batman on his head, but he like remade him for the 90s, for the modern era.
Yeah, and I went to college and I was taking a class on Gothic literature and the tropes of Gothic literature and how it's like a history of how horror and sci-fi all stems from Gothic writing. And we actually read The Long Halloween because it was a detective, because it was a mystery and a detective story. And yeah, that how it ties back, that this stuff like Sherlock Holmes and Edgar Allan Poe, it all has ties back to Gothic literature, and Long Halloween was right up in there. Because it is a mystery. It unfolds like a serial killer and a murder. Yeah, it's a murder mystery. And
and it was influenced by those 70 murder mysteries, also like those movies and things like that. So yeah.
And so the new Batman movie is totally like The Long Halloween.
Right.
I mean, it starts on Halloween night, And so
and it wraps up on Halloween night. Like I said, it was a whole year. So
yeah, so everybody bitching about how it's the worst Batman movie of all time, obviously ain't reading the comics.
Right. Thinking they just made up stuff. Like, no, a lot of stuff they did in the movie came from the comics. So yeah.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Tim Sales. He will be missed. Yes, this is Chrisful. Shout out to Chrisful.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Is that a genie bottle? I'm not really sure. Penguin?
Looks like a vase with I don't know. I'm blind.
Flowers. It's flowers.
Like flowers. Yeah.
It's flowers. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but yeah. Yeah, so rest in peace to Tim Sales. So let's see what we got. Okay. So Eli, I guess we can go to, I guess you wanted to, like I said, a big thing happened with Obi-Wan this week. I still haven't been watching. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So Obi-Wan, quick little the Obi-Wan minute. Best episode so far. This one actually wowed me. It's been okay so far. We've seen Vader back. Yes, the Obi-Wan show. It takes place 10 years after the Clone Wars, Order 66. All the Jedi a lot of them are dead. A lot of them are in hiding. Vader and his Inquisitors are going around hunting down Jedi. And then Obi-Wan gets called back into action because little Princess Leia is kidnapped by the Inquisitors. They're trying to lure Obi-Wan out. Now, the whole time, now I'm going to spoil it. So, spoilers. You ain't watching it. It's been, it's almost a week old.
You've been warned. You've been warned.
I'm going to spoil it. So, what's her name? Reva? That Inquisitor, she's been after Obi-Wan. She was in charge of kidnapping Leia. And this whole time, it seems like she's hating Obi-Wan. She has it in for Obi-Wan. And I kind of suspected that she has some sort of ties back to Obi-Wan because a lot of the Inquisitors were ex-Jedi. And I was like, I something's up. There's some connection between her and Obi-Wan. Well, in this episode, it was revealed that she was one of the younglings at the Jedi Temple.
Anakin didn't get her?
And Anakin, she witnessed Anakin slaughter all the younglings, and she played dead. So there was a trigger warning right before the episode, and that was
really
dark.
like it was. Oh wow, okay,
yeah, especially in recent fucking tragedies that's been happening. These are kids.
A school massacre. Yeah.
Yes, he came in. And how she thought he was there. She was like, what's going on? The clones are here shooting everybody. And she thought Anakin was there to help. It's like, I actually got shivers.
I mean, the kids in the Revenge of the Sith thought he was coming to help. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, she thought he was there to help. And they started killing all the kids, and she played dead. And so then she grew up, and the twist is she wasn't after Obi-Wan, because that's what it seemed like. This whole time we're thinking she has it in for Obi-Wan. And it turns out it is revealed, no, she wants to kill Anakin. But she don't know Anakin
Vader. Is Vader, right? Because
yes.
Because everybody think Anakin was already dead.
Yeah, they all thought Anakin was dead, that Obi-Wan had killed him. So there was like that big twist, and there's this great conversation she has with Obi-Wan that just gave me shivers. And I'm like, this is the emotional weight that I've been waiting for, that I felt was always missing from the prequel movies, that we are getting in the series and in the Clone Wars, because it hit me. I was like, whoa. She was like, man, he was your Padawan, man. Like, she was like half blaming Obi-Wan. And I just thought it was a great scene, gave me shivers. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I want, So yeah, I thought it was the best episode so far. We got to see Vader do some cool shit. And yeah, so we're only one episode left, and they finally got me, because it's been okay so far. It's Star Wars. I'll watch it. I like the shit, but this one just dropped the bomb, and I was like, wow. So I was quite flabbergasted.
Yeah. It sounds like, since this is the last episode, well, last episode before the last episode, did it feel like they're building to a last episode?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of sort of see what's happening. But it left on a cliffhanger. I'm like, oh, okay. This is the first time since the show started where I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait to see the next episode. So yeah, double
Nice.
thumbs up for me.
Okay. Pretty good. Okay, so like I said, we talked about that one. Now let's talk about something that's kind of divisive. And matter of fact, I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm gonna see if I can put a poll up for this one. Okay, so for those who don't know, because like I said, news that dropped back in Monday feels like it was 5 years ago. But we're gonna remind everybody. So
Oh,
yeah,
that
matter of fact,
shit.
Eli, I think you even forgot what we're
I
talking about.
totally forgot about it.
I know you forgot it because it was so long ago. We talked about it. It was like a thing that was there for
And I
those.
didn't really care. That's why it's probably even worse.
Right, but we're still gonna talk about. Like I said, I'm gonna poll up to see what people think about it. So yeah, for those that don't know, uh, there is a Joker 2. Yeah, even though they said that Joker 1 was gonna be a one shot, it was gonna be a one and done thing. They're gonna move on from that, and that's it. But then it made $1 billion off 50 million. So of course, they were gonna, you know what? Yeah, let's do another one. Let's make another one. So then you started hearing news about it, and you're like, okay, uh, first off, they're saying that it might be a musical.
I heard it is a
Versus
musical. That's what I heard.
that's what they're saying. I don't know if that's a rumor or because I think I even heard Deadline say it that they're thinking about it's going to be a musical.
Yeah.
And the fact that Lady Gaga is signing on, and she may or may not be Harley Quinn. They're saying she may sign on as Harley Quinn. I'm like, okay. Now my thing, Eli, I'm intrigued. That's just me. I'm intrigued. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I didn't give a shit about a Joker 2. Now, I don't know how you feel. I do know how you feel about Joker 1 because I was here when we did the podcast. You did your review. So I can dig it up somewhere. I remember what it said. But me personally, I like the movie. Hell, I might have even loved the movie if I think about it twice again. Just the fact of what they were doing with it. But I didn't think it needed a second one. I feel like they did what they needed to do and wrapped it up. But when you tell me you're doing a superhero music or super whatever musical, I'm like, well, I'm at least curious. I want to see where it goes. Then you put Lady Gaga in it. Say what you want about Lady Gaga. I know she's pop. I know she's this and that. She can sing. She's got talent. I've heard her do a cappella. I've heard her play on piano. She has talent. So I at least want to see if they do a musical with Lady Gaga in it, where she's not playing something outside of a role she can't do, like Versace or Gucci or whoever the fuck she was in that movie. No, she's playing a singer. I can do with that. Harley Quinn, yeah.
Yeah, if she gets in booty shorts or a skin tight, leotard, I ain't gonna be mad.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna sex up Harley in this one. Like, they try to do with Margot Robbie because Margot Robbie didn't want to be sexified and all this like that. I think they're just gonna do just crazy Harley that can sing, That's what I think, I may be wrong. I don't know, but I'm saying. But here's the thing, like I said, now what we haven't been noticing about these these DC movies, that they've been hitting a streak with movies that are just rip off of other movies. Okay, Joker. It was just Taxi Driver and the King of Comedy. It was really the King of Comedy, but with a dash of the Taxi Driver. But Taxi Driver is the bigger hit of the Scorsese.
The ending of Taxi Driver, yeah.
The ending of Taxi Driver. So people are going to go with that. But it was really the King of Comedy because it almost felt like a sequel to the King of Comedy if you watch that movie. The Batman is 7. It's 7. That's all it is. They even take shots and rip it off 7. Gordon is just Morgan Freeman. Like they don't even pretend like he's not, So that's what they're doing. So and keep in mind, all of these are Warner Brother movies. So they're taking movies, they're remaking their old movies, but they're slapping the superhero Trojan horse cape on them and they're selling to people.
So what musical are they ripping off?
Streetcar Named Desire? Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about. What
Streetcar Named Desire ain't a musical.
I assumed it was. I don't know.
It's a play. It's just a play. No, it's not a musical.
Oh, damn. I'm thinking. I like West Side Story. But what musical take place has anything to do with a sane asylum? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, or a love story. It would be a love story, right?
A love story. Yeah. It would be a love story, which most musicals are, I'm thinking La La Land or some shit. I don't know. I'm not. This is not the musical Bullies. This is not.
and this is why I don't care about it because I really don't like musicals at all.
So you didn't see. So you didn't see In the Heights. You didn't see West Side Story.
I did throw on West Side Story and then forgot. Oh shit! Yeah, this is a musical.
Okay, which one? The Spielberg one or the
Spielberg one? It was on HBO. Okay. I threw it on and then oh yeah, and then I started doing laundry and on my phone and playing.
So you weren't dancing with it. Who is that pretty girl in the mirror?
Yeah, life is all right in America. I mean, watch that old one in music in school, when I was back in high school. We had to watch it.
It was way back then. So that's the thing what people are doing now. So they're remaking remakes. Well, they're remaking movies. So yes, I have a feeling, I will even bet money, cheeseburger, pizza, taco, whatever, that whenever they announce this Joker musical, it will be a ripoff of another Warner Brother musical. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's the thing is, like,
because if you just remake it, nobody's gonna see it.
well,
But if you
remember,
slap a superhero in it, people will watch it.
yeah, and remember, was it the Joker annual or whatever that came out a few years ago,
Mhm.
where it was all these anthology stories, and Brian Azzarello wrote that one story where it was like a parody of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at Arkham, and I thought that would be a great Joker sequel. Like, just set it in Arkham and turn it into One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with a bunch of fucking Arkham villains. I was like, I'll watch the fuck out of that.
But see, here's the problem with that, Eli. I'm about to shoot down your lights right now. It's not going to be based off comic.
No,
whatever they do.
but it's like that's an awesome idea, and it's
right.
And like how Joker ripped off those movies, this new Joker could have ripped off another old movie,
Yeah.
But that was just me, and I got excited for that idea, and now it's a musical, and now I don't care.
Now, here's the thing. Let's say they do rip off One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and turn it into a musical just by accident. Because of what you said, some other fans will see it. Oh, it reminds me of the Brian Azzarello story. DZ is going to be like, yeah, sure, okay.
Or not. No one's going to remember that story except us.
It's going to be some assholes on Twitter that are just bringing up out of nowhere that nobody, and then everybody else is going to pretend like they know what they're talking about. They don't, Yeah. So, but that's what's going to happen with that one. So, yeah, I'm going to put a poll up. I want everybody to vote on whether or not they.
I didn't watch it, but there was that Netflix. There was was it Ratchet? They made a Nurse Ratchet Netflix series.
TV, yeah, a Nurse Ratchet TV show, yeah.
Yeah, and she was like the villain in fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Or in this woke age, maybe she wasn't the villain. Maybe she was the victim of the whole time. I don't know. I didn't watch the shit, but she was a bitch in the fucking movie.
They try to make you sympathetic in these movies and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, the reason why she was such an asshole,
right? Like, what is it, Cruella de Vil and shit like that, and what we got? I'm not a fan of musical either. That's the thing, Marcus Mason. What I'm gonna do, put a poll up, because, like I said, as far as this podcast, we are 50-50 on it. So I want to know what the rest of the internet thinks about it. Are we at least interested, or are we just shooting this idea like, I ain't watching this shit? Because I already know Eli. I already know as soon as I saw this shit, Eli's gonna be like, I'm too metal for this shit. I can't watch the musical.
It kind of makes sense though. Like, I can get it. Like, I can get like a Joker musical because he's such a crazy nut job.
It's in his head, yeah.
It's in his head.
That's what we learned in the first movie, that he was an unreliable narrator. We couldn't really believe anything he said because it's all from his head.
And even in Alan Moore, there's that musical number in The Killing Joke.
I'm so loony.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but I don't know if I want to watch it.
Now, and another thing, Eli, the reason they're doing musicals because musicals win Oscars. That, like, Joker cleaned up at the Oscars. Yeah, so if they do a Joker musical, it's going to clean up at the Oscars.
Joaquin won an Oscar from that.
Yeah, like they just threw Oscars at the Joker for that shit like that. Yeah. But I'm wondering, will the crowd gravitate to it? Like I said, we're 50-50 on musicals, so it didn't have that same thing. But of course, the first movie, the reason it made so much money was because the media was hyping up out of control. They were like, oh, incel this, incel that. If you go see this movie, you're a school shooter. They were just throwing all these things at you. You're gonna get shot if you see this movie. So it made people rebel and go see the movie anyway. And it boom, made $1 billion. So it had this viral grassroots campaign out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's gonna happen again. It's not gonna happen again, but I doubt it. But yeah.
And you want to sell a musical? Put Lady Gaga in it.
I'm sold. But let's be honest with you. Like, DC is no stranger to musical. Not Warner Brothers, DC. Because let's be honest, this is one of the best episodes of The Flash.
Oh, CW is all
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The CW did a Flash Supergirl musical, and it was one of their best episodes.
I watched Riverdale. The last episode of they're always singing on Riverdale. I watch How could I say I hate musicals and I watch Riverdale? They're always breaking out in a song. Fucking Sabrina. What they did to Run DMC's It's Tricky, that's unforgivable. But yes, But on the last episode of Riverdale, they did a musical on American Psycho, and I'm like, is that real? Does that exist? Is there an American Psycho musical? I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, yeah, but they did they did Carrie the musical, and like, okay, so, and
I
I
think
watched
it's like that episode. Yeah, I think it's like that episode of Hawkeye, the first episode, and they saw that musical there.
Oh,
It was like, hold my beer. We can do better. Right. Whatever this shit was. I can't even remember the name of the song, but it was stuck in my head at the time when it was,
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Eli, they can do one thing that may get my attention, but they're not gonna do it. Like you said, they adapted a Brian Azzarello One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and you said it would get your attention. However, I want them to do a musical version of Mad Love. If they do a musical version of Mad, because honestly, I feel like they never should have did a Suicide Squad with Will Smith. They should just went right into Mad Love. Just do that. That should be like the second DCEU movie out the gate, and that would have hit. That would have introduced Harley Quinn, and you could have went into that from Suicide Squad from that. But if they do a musical of Mad Love, I think they got some. Not even Mad Love. What was that Harley Quinn, that Black Label book we read? The one that kind of redid
she
her.
was the serial killer. She was the profiler. It was
Not
Harley
that
and
one.
Joker.
Not the Jeff Lemire one. The other one. The one where they kind of redid Mad Love. It was like 3 issues.
There was like, I think it was Joker Harley, where she was like the serial killer profile. She was like interviewing it was like he was Hannibal and she was Clarice, and she was.
I think they had two stories like that at the same time that DC put out. For some reason.
Yeah. There was one that it was like long. I only, and those are expensive, man. So I fell off it because that was like $8 a book and shit, and then it is like more than 6 issues. I think there was like 8. It might have been even 12. I don't know, but it was good. I just didn't stay with it just because of struggle's real sometimes.
Yeah, those books just go on forever, and like I said, I love Jeff Lemire. Well, you love Jeff Lemire, but sometimes he can.
Gomer loves Jeff Lemire.
Oh, they suck him off every.
This Geeks in Comics, they
sucked him off
Jeff
too.
Lemire.
Comic Cast sucked them off too, but yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, we talked about this long enough. We'll move on from that. What do we got here? Oh, Eli, you're up. Here's the thing. You've been on a roll these last couple weeks. Because, like I said, I was like the Vidja Game section. I was ready to just call it quits, just dump it, and just move on to other shit. But you've been finding gems, to put out there. So I'm just like, okay, Eli, gamer. As a matter of fact, we're gonna hype up your Twitch stream. Also, we're gonna plug you. We're gonna plug your Twitch stream. We're gonna get you some followers.
Like the once a month stream that I do.
Right.
I'm new at it. I'm still
Eli streaming. Eli streaming. Let's go to
it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I got the new Ninja Turtles game, the Shredder's Revenge, on Xbox, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just an old school beat 'em up, side scrolling. You get to choose. You get to choose all 4 turtles plus Splinter. I beat the game with Raphael, and I unlocked Casey Jones. Haven't played him yet, but it's just old school arcade. Running around, button mashing. It's updated controls, so you can do a lot more abilities with the controls. It's just not A, B. You got a lot more buttons. Not like back in the Sega days where you only had A and B. No, it utilizes all the different controls, and you can do a lot more things. But the concept's the same. You just kind of run around kicking ass, just beating up foot soldiers. Yeah, and it gets a little tedious. You have to get the timing down, and your hand-eye coordination on certain, especially the bosses. There was a few bosses that were quite challenging. The Triceraton level was a pain in the ass. I was getting mad and bitching and yelling and swearing up a storm trying to beat that level. Baxter Stockman was a pain in the ass to beat. He was a boss. You had to he was like flying, and you had to get it up in timing and all that shit. So yeah, it's just not it's not all easy. There is some challenging. A lot of those old school games focused more on timing and coordination and all that.
Well, most of those, because they were arcade games, they were just made to be cheap and make you spend quarters.
Yeah.
So they wanted you to lose.
Yeah. And some of the jumping, the jumping, you can it kind of has the Super Mario jump where you can kind of control where he,
In the air?
up in
Okay.
the air, you can double jump and kind of control where he lands. Not as precise or as cleanly as you could in, the Super Mario games, but you can do that. So yeah, like I said, and that you have to get good at that. You have to know how to do that to get past some of the bosses because some of their attacks, you have to be able to dodge some of it. And yeah, there's the combo system. The more hits you get in, the more points you get, the more ninja power you get, and the more abilities and special moves you get. So here they are fucking up my combo, I believe. Well,
Right. Blame it on the game. I do it all the time too.
Oh,
Lag.
yeah, 30. Yeah, here I am. I'm racking up the hits. There's a special move too, anyways. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I played it with Raphael, beat it. I started playing with Donatello earlier today. And yeah, I'm just having fun. And it's 4 players, up to 4 players who can get in on one game. So if you're on Xbox Live, let me know. Thrash Jaws, that is my gamer tag. And yeah, we can mob this shit. And,
You should have hit me up. I mean, okay, I don't have an Xbox, but I think the PC version is crossplay.
compatible?
Well, crossplay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because Fat T's on there, and yeah, he was trying to get in with me too. So yeah, we're gonna bust this shit. He already beat it he's already beaten it a couple times too with a couple of characters. So
yeah, I haven't touched it. People from work have been asking me to jump on. Like, Leroy, you should jump on. Like, okay, so they jump, but they want to do it when they're off work and I'm working. So
yeah, and there's some challenges. Throw 5 enemies or defeat 10 enemies with the flying attack and shit, and to unlock abilities and shit like that. It's got little challenges on each level. So, but yeah, it's just fun. It's very similar to Streets of Rage, Final Fight, Fatal Fury, all those old school arcade classics. Yeah, you got to be a little timing. Got to get the timing down. Not as what was I playing like Ghosts and Goblins? That revamped Ghosts and Goblins. That was a pain in the ass. I never beat that.
Okay. What about Streets of Rage 4 that you playing?
Oh yeah, and I got it for this now too. So yeah, if you want to bust Streets of Rage 4, I got it for Xbox now too, and already beat it with a couple of characters. That was my game like a couple years during the pandemic.
Everybody had to do something to get through the pandemic.
Yeah. So and it's very similar. Just side scrolling, beat 'em up. So yeah, and it's got all the characters. If you're a fan of the Ninja Turtles comics and the TV show, it makes references, all that. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Nice. Okay. Oh wait, Eli, you're not done.
No.
You got one more.
What I do now?
Yeah. Now we got to talk about Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I don't know what this is. So
really?
I can't really.
Oh,
I mean, I know, but I don't know. It's like how you hear stuff like, oh, that was a thing that happened. That's pretty much what I know.
Okay, so Lollipop Chainsaw was a game written and produced by James Gunn.
Okay, and the thing was when the game came out at the time, people kept saying that, but I think it was before Guardians. So I'm like, who the fuck is James Gunn? I don't know who that is. So I'm glad you make that a big thing. But now I know who he is. But at the time when it came out, I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. So and it put what's her face on the map? What's that? Jessica Negri? Is that how you say her name? That cosplayer.
That cosplayer. Yeah.
Yeah. It put her on the map.
Please tell me you got a
I would have came more prepared had I forgot. I forgot I did. But
had I not remind you, blame it on me. Blame it on me. Okay, there we go.
There we go. So there's Jessica Negri, or I don't know how to spell it. I don't know. Negri. I don't know. Anyway, she's like one of the most popular cosplayers. And this is what I believe this is what put her on the map. She got hired to, dress up as the main character by whatever gaming company that put out the game. She designed the costume and stuff, and they're like, yeah. So she got to go to Blizzard Con or whatever it was when they launched the game, and that's what basically put her on the map.
So they based the game off her. I didn't know that.
No, she made she made that costume, and they used her
gotcha.
to advertise the game.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the game, it's a zombie game. It's this character, I forget her name. I think her name is just Lollipop, but it's a zombie apocalypse. You know, she runs around with a chainsaw, and it's a chainsaw gun. Not quite as like Gears of War, but yeah, it's a chainsaw that can shoot shotgun shells, and she runs around sawing up, killing zombies, and that's all it is. It's just an action game. A lot of gore. There's there's a lot of comic book influence too. It's basically a video game version of a comic book, and it was a lot of fun too. I played it back in was it 2010 or whenever it was.
Yeah. PlayStation 2 or something. It was like
yeah, I think it was either that. Yeah, I think it was the PlayStation 2 or 3. And I guess they're making they're making a sequel to this game. I don't know who's all involved. If James Gunn is going to be involved again.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be a remake, so it's a sequel
or something. They're doing something. They're revamped. They're coming out with a new Lollipop Chainsaw game. So that I was like, hell yeah.
They're not making any new games of anything. Like The Last of Us got another remake. I'm like, another one? But I can't talk
Resident
shit.
Evil 4 remake.
Right, remake. Like I still played that game like a couple days. But are we really gonna complain? Like every time they drop a new Blu-ray version of Star Wars, we go get it. You know, so how we gonna talk shit about video games? So yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sure the graphics you'll be able to see like the sweat on her navel.
She'll just look like that, like Jessica Negri.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's just a little bit of video game news that I thought was kind of cool because I did play the game. I did beat that game for science. So yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw, check it out if you never played it. Maybe if it's on one of the like Game Pass or something. But yeah, it's just an action shoot 'em up fighting game. You know, a lot of gore, and you watch and it's third person, so you're behind the main character.
So
it's got a good view.
All right. So yeah, like I said, we kind of just flew through that. So yeah, we move on to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about the comic books. And Eli, I'm gonna let you go first. Whatever you want to do, just have it.
Just on a roll here.
Well, I forgot you need get some water.
I got water here. Let's see. What should I do? I'll do that what's Jurassic League #2.
Okay. Keep in mind, this has nothing to do with Jurassic World. I know everybody's going crazy over that fucking movie right now. This ain't that. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it. I heard it's really long.
I heard it was bad, but everybody's watching it anyway. It's like, oh, it's terrible. I'm gonna watch it 2 to 3 times. Like, why? Anyway.
Let's see. No, not that. Where is it? Sorry, I'm like totally fucking up here.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's right. It's a tab. Okay, see, I gotta learn how to use this program. Again, learning on the fly, freestyling it. Okay, it's a tab. It's not a window. And here we go. Okay, so Jurassic League #2. Oops. It's basically the Justice League as dinosaurs. Written by Daniel Warren Johnson. He is not doing the art, but he wrote it. But it's in a similar style to his art. But it's basically the Justice League, prehistoric times, and there's superhero versions of dinosaurs. Or dinosaur versions of superheroes. You have Batasaur, who's cleaning up the wastelands, and then you have Supersaur, who is an alien dinosaur that crashed to Earth on a spaceship and was raised by the cavemen. And he's in Metropolis. That's what that city's called.
Okay.
Wonder Dawn, I believe her name is. Wonder Dom. I don't know why didn't you call her Wonder. She's like a Triceratops. Why didn't you just call her Wonder Tops or something? I don't know.
Wonder Tops. Probably get banned if they said this shit.
Wonder Tops.
Wonder Cheeks or some shit.
Yeah. But this it's basically your standard Justice League story. with dinosaurs. It's nothing you haven't seen before. Yes, and it's basically the birth of the trilogy, or not the trilogy, the Trinity. You know, you're seeing them come together to fight this otherworldly threat. In this issue, Brontosaurus. Is that what he's
Like
called?
the Bizarro version of Supersaurus. Okay.
Yeah, the Brontosaurus version of Bizarro. He is like destroying Metropolis by using, I think he's using the humans to fuel the Lazarus pit, some sort of Lazarus pit. And then there's the Joker Zard or whatever, the lizard version of Joker. And the Reverse Flash, who is a turtle. Or like a ankylosaurus, like a turtle type of dinosaur. They're like, they're kind of like the Legion of Doom or whatever. They're like the villains, and they bring forth Atrociosaurus.
Atrocitus. The Red Lantern. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they're trying to resurrect a demon lord, which is probably going to be the dinosaur version of Darkseid. So that's going on, and so basically all the heroes are coming together. They don't know each other. They're coming together. Batasaur goes to Metropolis because that's what's being attacked. Supersaurus goes there and is like trying to, has a big fight with Brontosaurus or whatever. And then Wonder Woman shows up and, hey, you guys need help? And they're like, yes, we do. And then there you go. So that's like the ending where they are banding together to form some sort of league. So it's just, again, stupid fun. It's not, like I said, it's nothing you haven't seen before. It's your standard Justice League story, only it's got dinosaurs punching each other. And, nothing wrong with that. So
nice,
4 to 5.
Okay. You say DC with dinosaurs. Okay. All right. So we're going to do something different we normally don't do on this podcast, because normally I don't seek out bad books. Like sometimes we walk into them. Sometimes, we review and get ambushed by, oh, this book sucked. We don't know. And normally I kind of go out of my way if I know a book is bad. But the thing is, this book has been getting so much attention. I feel like, fuck it. Do it for the clicks. So I read it. Yeah.
I saw it and I thought about showing it to you. But then I'm like, then I'm going to have to read it. Then I'm going to have to buy it. Like, right. No. And I didn't say nothing. So I didn't say nothing. No,
I saw it. Let's find out. Okay, let's talk about what we're talking about. Okay, for those who know, we're talking about What If Miles Morales #4. Basically, there's like this 5 issue, 6 issue, whatever the fuck it is.
It's of 5 issues. Holy shit.
Yeah, 5 issues of this. But it's 5 issues of, let me just click on this thing. It's 5 issues of, it's not even really what if stories. It's just, what if your favorite superhero was a black dude? That's all it is. Like, because he don't even act like Miles Morales. That's all it is. It's like the worst thing that you expect when you see this thing. It's exactly what it is, And so I never expected to really like these books. That's the thing. Like, I knew these books were going to be bad. I just tried to just
like, because he was Captain America in one. And then was he Venom in another one?
He was, the whole cage just like.
And now he's Thor.
Like he's Thor, like, and then we're gonna get the whole thing. Okay, we got another superhero with a black superhero with lightning powers, but he already has lightning powers before, so it's like whatever.
The dialogue is what got me.
The dialogue is what. Oh, Eli, you gotta. I know you didn't.
I just saw like a couple of panels, and I just like, oh my, holy shit.
Oh wow! I was gonna do a counter, but that would have forced me to reread it again because I don't want. After this, I want to be done with this bullshit, But anyway, we hadn't even read it yet. We hadn't even reviewed it. Let's review this fucker of a book. This is Miles Morales #4. What if Miles Morales was Thor #4? Let's just jump into it. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Before we go into it, hold on, Eli. Now, how good are your beatboxing skills? I might have to call on you. You're from New York. You from New York. I might have to call you.
I gotta,
so that means
straight face.
I'm just saying, because you from beatbox, so Eli, that means you either know how to beatbox, you know graffiti, you know how to break dance, or you can DJ. One of the 4, Eli. Okay, I'll take it. All right, let's
Well,
shit.
you lead me
All
in, I'll drop it. I'll
right.
drop on the I'll drop on
Okay.
the 8th bar.
Okay. So let's start the book up. Like I said, this is a multiverse book, so this is not in continuity. This is outside of continuity.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, okay, Eli, give me a beat. No, before you give me a beat, I'm gonna tell you why you're gonna give me a beat, because the book starts off with before you give me the beat, I'm gonna bring you in. Now, the book starts off with, just to give you some backstory, Yggdrasil grew in Brooklyn. That's the story. So this is not a story about the universe. It's a story about the multiverse, where they drop a dope verse. Hit it. Give it to me. Mic check. Here we go. The stair shines above the realms of the god. 4 mighty battles with his 4 of his squad. Where the lightning goes when the war he's won. That's the victory lies for the son of sons. He's got style and a flair to boot. When he kicks, you know he's in hot pursuit. Old enough to know that he doesn't know it all. He wants the ball before he falls. God damn it.
Are we making this book even
stop.
worse?
Let's
Are we
stop.
making it worse?
Let's stop. Okay, look.
I feel ashamed of myself.
See, that's what I'm saying. People are going on about this on Twitter, but they don't really know how bad it is. The whole thing is, he's rapping. Okay, first off, we know this wasn't written by a black dude. We know that. Because I wanted to get to the last part of it, but Eli, it was so tough. I had to break it up, because the last part of when he's rhyming, all the dreams rain from the clouds above. He brings the thunder. Best believe it, bruv. Black people in America don't say bruv. Where did he get that shit from? Was he watching, I don't know, a Idris Elba BBC TV show or some shit? We don't say that shit. We say bruh. That's what we say, bruh, not bruv. What the
Bruh.
Oh man. This is okay. We're on page 2. let's just run through this bullshit, man. I'm gonna just run through the rest. I just want to get the rest of that shit. Oh, don't forget that his Nikes have the Mjolnir sign on them. Let's do it. So he is the Prince of Asgard and Brooklyn, and the Brooklyn Bridge is the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, he's that. And let's get to the bad shit. Okay.
It gets worse.
It gets worse, yes. Okay, so he got his uncle who looks like LeBron James on crack, whatever. We already know who that is. That's supposed to be the Prowler, his uncle, but he's playing Loki in this universe, scheming, blah, blah, blah. You know the bullshit. It's a typical Thor story, but it's with this shit. Anyway, let's go past it. Okay, the start of it, like I said, the dialogue, he says it's hammer time. All of this is a bunch of 80s and 90s raps. That's one. He says it's hammer time.
Why has nobody thought of that, man?
There's a reason nobody thought of that. Let's just go to it. Another one. I don't give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck what happened in this book. It doesn't matter. Let's just get to it. Another one, he says, where is it? When he jumps on the thing. Yeah, right here. Another one. All eyes on me. Okay, so he's quoting Tupac again. Why? I don't know. He beats up Laffy for some reason because of some evil shit that he did. I think he says some corny shit here too. Let's see. Nope, doesn't. He doesn't talk, so good figure on him. Anyway, he kills Laffy, throws his uncle Loki in jail, and the other Miles Morales from the other multiverse recruit him for some other bullshit that happens in the next book. Whatever. I don't give a shit. I didn't even have the thing. I don't give a fuck. I should have showed you the shit, but it don't even fucking matter. It don't even fucking matter. This book fucking sucked. That's it. Now, here's the thing I want to go into detail about this book. You can tell that a black dude didn't write this book. You can tell. I don't know who it was who wrote this book, but all this slang was from the 90s, from the 80s, shit that black people don't say anymore. It's almost like I'm pretty sure he said like off the hook or some shit, or Yeezy, some shit. Like, the reason we don't say like off the hook or shit like that is because when white people started saying it, it came out of style. So we don't say that shit because we move on to something else. Like, that's why we don't
make a movie called that or something.
I got the hookup.
I got the hookup.
I got the hookup to some shit like that. So this is just outdated dialogue, and it's everything that I was scared that this Miles Morales book was. That's exactly what it was. It's just It's the bad part of when Marvel thinks that they can just sell anything by race swapping their heroes. Just race swap them and call it a day. Doesn't matter whether the story is good or not. Just do it and call it a day. And that's exactly what it was. Now, normally, I knew how I could feel this was going to be a bad book coming, so I would just ignore it. I would just not talk about it because the best way to kill a bad book is to ignore it. But no, it caught on Twitter. Other black comic writers start catching on to it like, this shit sucks. This shit is terrible. What the hell are you doing, Marvel? So I feel like I had to talk about it at least just to get it out my head. But I don't want to be one of those channels where we just go hunting for bad books and just shit on them all day. Just go, see, this is what wrong. Now, I like to look for good books, but this shit was so bad. I feel like I had to address it, especially on you dropped this shit on Juneteenth. What the fuck, Marvel? What are you doing?
That's why I didn't want to say anything. Like, I heard about it and I was like, I wonder if Leroy knows about it. And like, oh no, then I'm gonna have to read it. Then I'm gonna have to buy it. Like, I don't want to do this. So I didn't say anything. And then you like said, like, oh shit, he found out.
I found out, but I tried to ignore the best I could because I saw it and I was like, okay, because it was like the #1 trending topic when this book dropped on Wednesday. I'm gonna ignore it. I don't care. But they kept dropping panels. I'm like, oh shit, it's really bad. It's bad. Okay.
Yeah, I saw. They just posted one panel where he was like talking in like bad rhymes, and like as Guardian rap or whatever. And I was just, holy shit, that's corny as fuck, man. But
man, that and Marvel like Marvel is patting themselves on the back with this shit. I bet when he was writing those dumbass rhymes, he was like, oh yeah, this shit is fire. You know. I might make my own mixtape with this shit. Like, no, it's not. This shit sucks. Shit corny, it's terrible. Like, oh man, I don't know, man.
Yeah, hey, Method Man still do that podcast for us? Yo, man.
Have Method Man talk about this book. Like, oh
shit. Yeah, he probably quit after that.
Right. Pretend like I have nothing to do with this. Don't call my name. That's what Method Man is doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
See, I don't know. When they start the whole thing with hip hop and I don't know. I don't know how deep we want to go, but yeah, is that appropriation? Like, what the?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing because it's almost to a point where this could be blackface. Like, people don't want to bring that up, but like I said, when you got
it's like
you writing
bad
a black
representation of a culture,
because you know what this feels like. It feels like every black superhero in a comic from the 70s or the 80s. That's how they wrote that shit because they didn't know. All their knowledge of black people came from movies, exploitation movies, music, maybe sports and shit like that, but they don't actually know any black people, so they just write dumb shit like this. But first off, this isn't being sold to us anyway. We're not buying this shit.
Yeah.
So
or like when like white rappers were saying proper because MC Hammer said it on a commercial and like
right. So
like it's just like it's like making a mockery of. That's how I feel.
Anyway. That's how I feel too. That's why I was trying to ignore it, but it became such a big deal. I'm just like, I'll just talk about it at least. But yeah, like for people that haven't read this book, don't read any of this shit. Don't be suckered into it. I mean, I understand you want to find a comic with Miles Morales in it because he's a popular character, so you're just getting anything. Don't read this shit. There's actually another Miles Morales comic that's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good storyline, but don't get suckered and fooled and bamboozled into this shit. What if your favorite superhero was a black dude and they just write a black dude, not Miles Morales?
It's like them. What's it, Bright or whatever? That show Bright with the Will Smith as the orc.
Will Smith and the fairies and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, let's take that. If that were to happen, like this fantasy realm were to happen, would history be the same? Like, why are the minorities still living in the ghetto with all this magic shit happening? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, okay, if the tree of life grew in the hood, would they still be poor?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
You think they'd be taking over like that, but
and it's just like, it's pretty fucking shallow,
So I'm like Falcon and at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier. Do better, Marvel. Do better. I need to make that a clip. That's gonna be a GIF I'm gonna have loaded in here so I can just pull it up at a moment's notice. But now the reason I did that first because I want to do a shitty book with a black superhero because I know you read maybe a okay book with a black superhero.
Oh,
But I'm not transitioning. Just whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
I'm doing. Well, I suppose I'll do Blood Syndicate. I guess I'm doing
If you
Blood.
want.
Am I just gonna do Blood Syndicate from now
You're gonna do on Juneteenth. You're doing Blood Syndicate on Juneteenth.
Okay. I'll try not to talk in rhymes.
Right. I'll even do a beat for you.
Okay, let me grab this real quick. Yeah, fuck it, that'll work. That'll work, right? This should work. Here, look at that. Check that out. How's that?
Let's do that. Boom. You have the power. Okay.
All right. So Blood Syndicate #2. We had mixed feelings about the first issue. So Blood Syndicate
we didn't really know enough,
Yeah, first this is the milestone verse, and they've been Icon and Rocket, Static. They've been bringing back these books, the new revamped version of all these heroes, and now they're finally on Blood Syndicate, which was like basically street gangs with superpowers. But this new version was a little confusing. I think now that I've read issue 2, I kind of feel like I know what they're doing. They're not the Blood Syndicate quite yet.
Right. Or they may not even become the Blood Syndicate. Maybe the Blood Syndicate is going to be who they fight, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Basically, Y-Sun and Tech 9, right? Tech 9.
Y-Sun, Tech 9, and Fade. Yeah.
And Fade.
Yeah.
Last issue,
but the thing, I don't know which one is which. That's the thing.
Yeah. Last issue was pretty much all about Tech 9 coming back from the war and figuring out he has powers. And there's all this. They got back to Dakota City, and the streets are hot. Icon and Rocket cleared out all the drug cartels, so all the mobsters are no longer selling drugs, but now so the street gangs have took over, and they're all vying for territory. So that's like they came back into this really, the streets are just very violent right now. And this one's more about Y-Sun. We get flashbacks of Y-Sun, right?
No, it wasn't even flashback. It was actually like what he was doing while everybody else was doing.
We get a sense of why he joined the gang, that and why he went to the army. His dad was an asshole. He ended up abusive household. He ended up leaving. That's why he joined the gangs. The blue street, whatever, the Crips or whatever they were. And then he eventually
and
went
the army.
into
the army too,
army.
Like to get away from even them.
To get away. And then that's when he became a Muslim. And then he came back.
That's what he's saying, because I think his father was a preacher or something like that.
Yeah,
he was like, but it took me to go across the world to find God.
Find God. So his dad was like a preacher, like a Christian preacher, and then he ends up becoming a Muslim. And so there was that tension, that sort of bigotry going on, the religious bigotry that we got a sense from that. But he comes back and so the streets are hot with all this gang violence. And then you have Holocaust, which is probably my favorite part of the book.
When he just shows up out of nowhere, he just pops up.
Yeah. He comes in like fucking state property, basically says, either
get down or lay down.
and then he ends up flaming everybody and killing everybody. Basically saying the mob, Icon and Rocket took out the mob and all the drug dealers. We're taking over the streets.
So it left like this power vacuum.
Yeah, and it's like I'm taking it over. You can either roll with me or get rolled over. Basically, what he said. And that was probably the coolest part of the book.
Right.
That I understood.
And he kills everybody except Y-Sun, I think. Y-Sun is the only one that comes out of it, but the police
survived.
Because he survived. And the police think he caused it. Just arrest and be done with it,
Yeah.
So I thought that's pretty cool.
So it's basically, I think I know where it's going. I think they're gonna form a new gang to go against Holocaust,
whatever he's doing.
Yeah. So. I think that's what I get the sense of. This is more like a prequel.
Honestly, because it doesn't even feel like Holocaust is starting a gang. He just fucking up shit. That's what it seemed like
Yeah,
he just doing.
he's just
Yeah.
like, I'm taking over. Anybody wants to roll with me can roll with me, or if not, you're all gonna die.
Right.
You
That's
know?
what it seemed like he's doing,
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I did want to talk about this. Okay, like we just talked about these two different books. We talked about Miles Morales, how the dialogue was horrible, cliche and corny and stereotypical and damn near racist if you really want to go there.
Yeah.
But you go to this book, which was actually written by a black writer. It was written by Jeffrey Thorne. Like I said, he's written a whole bunch of stuff before like that. And he actually had more slang in this book than Miles Morales had his book, but it felt more organic.
Yeah.
It felt like real people were talking to each other,
They're speaking different language. The Spanish, little, Spanglish getting
like
dropped.
mijo, they were saying something like that. Like if you did, like you have to even know a little bit of like Spanglish to catch some of the dialogue they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the thing about it. Like, even though I don't know what's going on with this, I was more entertained by this book than was the first book. Like I was into this story.
Yes, I got a sense what was going on, because I felt like the number one didn't feel like number one, but this feels like
it just dropped you in there. Yeah,
it's starting to come together, and I kind of get a sense of what's happening, and I think being familiar with the old series does help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing, like for new readers. I still don't know if a new reader would get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I don't know if that helps it. But because
they're still not a gang yet or a team yet or whatever you want to call them, they're not there yet. Yeah.
How did they get there? It's sounding more like that this isn't Big Bang shit.
Yeah, like it just happened because like I said, they was across the world getting powers, Yeah.
And what are they? I'm digging the personal level. I'm digging the history of Y-Son.
And I was into Y-Son's life. Like I said, when he got into it with his father, when he got into it with his baby mama, like, I'm coming to see you. No, the fuck you not.
His kid's mom. And
right.
So you kind of feel bad for the guy.
And she was like, you took your ass to the army. We're not married. So she's like, you got another dude over there, So I was liking the story. Then, like I said, Holocaust just showing up out of nowhere, fucking up shit.
And just like murking everybody.
And he killed the guy that would like look like he was going to be the main villain. Like he was the guy that recruited everybody. We're going to take over the streets. We got the power. And Holocaust just kills him in like 2 seconds.
They all pull their guns on him and shit.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm not lost. They haven't lost me yet. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, the first book I was like, but the second book sold me. Like, okay, I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna see what we got. See where this is going.
So
still kind of pissed that DC Universe not dropping on day one, but whatever.
So I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Just because I felt like I knew I got a better sense of what was happening in this book.
Mm-hmm. And they're still giving you breadcrumbs to see where everything's gonna go from there. So yeah. All right. So it's on me. Next book I'm going to do. I don't know if you read this. Superman Son of KAL-EL number 2.
I did. Yeah.
You did read this? Okay, cool. You can help me out with it because we need to go from there. People don't know what's going on. Basically, everything is starting to ramp up. The Gamoran president Bendix, who got his own country, has teamed up with Lex Luthor basically to take down all superheroes, specifically John Kent, Superman's son, who is now the new Superman. So let's just jump into that. Oh, I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I took you out. My bad. That one. So, and you see on the cover is Crypto. Crypto, the super dog, will come in fact later on, especially since he has a movie coming out next week.
He does.
Starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Crypto. So yeah. So let's just get to it. Basically, John Kent. Now, I don't know if this happened last book, but basically saying that he found a guy that was kidnapped, taken over by evil men, and he gave him back to the one he loved. And he basically reminisced on what happened to him. Now, I know what that feels like. For people that don't know what that meant, he's reminiscing on the time he was kidnapped, beaten, and tortured by Ultraman, the evil Superman of Earth 3, who beat him for 5 years. So in captivity. That's why when he jumped from age 12 to age 18 or 17 or whatever he was, that's where he was. He would get his ass whooped. Yeah. But for everybody else in DC Universe, it was like a month, So he gets an alert from, the Super Watch or whatever. So he knows that means, Big John and Martha, they're in trouble. So he got to go save them. Batman's like, okay, don't worry. We got some things to take them out. And I guess the Gamoran, like evil dudes, whatever like that, are coming, or drones or bots, whatever they are. They're coming to kill the Kents, So, but then something takes them out. Well, what takes them out? They don't know. So he decided to put up the other defenses, to make sure they don't get in, because there's one thing that's like rocketing towards the house. And before it gets in, that thing gets in. And Batman's like, okay, everybody get down. We don't know whatever's coming in is coming in fast as hell. And it's about to like destroy the bunker when it gets here. And crashes through the door. It's Crypto holding one of the evil dude's heads. So basically Crypto took them out. And it's like, what the hell? So, and he got there before John got there. So when John get there, he's like, hey, Crypto, where you been, boy? Now Crypto got like 50 million origins of how he got there. I don't know what they did. He was there trapped in the Phantom Zone. He was a mutant dog. What, I don't know what the fuck he is. Anyway, they like, look, President Bendix did all this bullshit. We need to get on the inside of it. And we know he's in cahoots with Lex Luthor. And Batman's just like, well, how do we break into Lex Luthor's office to get information? And John's like, we don't have to. Maybe we put somebody on the inside. Like, okay, so what you got? So we cut to Lex Luthor, and he's having a meeting with Dick Grayson, because Dick Grayson is a billionaire now because he inherited the money from Alfred, who was a billionaire that didn't tell anybody. So now that Dick Grayson is a billionaire also, he's in, he can rub elbows with these guys. Now he's in Lex Luthor's circle. So Lex Luthor has a meeting.
Say that Dick looks creepy with his hair slicked back.
You know what he looks like? Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Yeah, yep. American Psycho.
That's exactly what he looked like. I think that was the intent. I think they want him to look like that. Yeah. So basically, that's the whole thing is that, Dick goes in there and he's talking Lex Luthor. He's pretend like I want to give you on a business plan of basically bringing you into Bloodhaven and see if you can put some money into Bloodhaven, stuff like that. And, Lex Luthor, oh, I can spend money in Bloodhaven? Cool. But while he's doing that, he doesn't notice that Dick slips, right there. He slips a little like bug on his desk, so they can listen into what they're doing. Now they know Lex Luthor's paranoid. They know Lex Luthor's gonna, sweep for bugs every day, every morning. So they basically fix the bug where after the end of the night, it's gonna basically destroy itself anyway. So there'll be no evidence they were even there. So all they can do is listen in on Lex Luthor for one day, for one afternoon. And basically just like, oh yeah, Lex Luthor, the moment you left that room, Lex Luthor got on the phone with Bendix. So we can listen to the conversation right now. Basically what they're doing, they're talking about how, all the shit he's planning and how he's got all these super people that he made in his country that's about to attack the United States right now. And basically he's talking about some senator they got in their back pocket. They're like, what senator they got? So they go to Washington, D.C. and they talk to Senator Henderson, because he was the guy that freed that hostage from Star Labs and had him attack the Kents. His name was on the signed deal that did the deal, so they know he had something to do with it. So they go to, now I don't know if we're in the Capitol. I'm so tired of talking about the Capitol in comics, because every DC comic is in the Capitol. So anyway, he's talking to Henderson. He wants to meet with. He like, let's go to the office and talk private. Oh, Ed Jay's with him also. He's like, no, we don't talk private. We're gonna talk right now in front of everybody on camera. And we want to know, why did you free that metahuman from Star Labs, the same metahuman that attacked my grandparents? The same grandparents that instilled good into Superman's heart. Without them, Superman would have been an evil tyrant. But you put them in motion to have them killed. You're like, look, can we not talk about this on camera? I do want to talk about, I want to see if I can show this, because it is kind of funny that all this information that they're talking about and exposing all this information in detail, little Easter egg right there. I don't know if I can zoom in on it, but it's a LexCorp camera he's doing it on. A LexCorp camera, LexCorp lens or stuff like that. So he's using that to expose corruption using Lex Luthor or Lex Luthor's company, whatever like that, So while they're doing all that, he's like, look, man, I can't tell you what's going on. They got dirt on me. I can't tell you that. He's like, look, just tell me and I'll help you out, And meanwhile, they're doing that, Crypto starts going crazy. He starts like barking and growling stuff like that at the president, or the senator. Heat visions the top of the building on top of him, and it drops down on Henderson. So they're like, wait, did your dog just kill a senator? He's like, and John looks at him, like, no, wait, something's not right here. Crypto flipped out for a reason, and it exactly because Henderson turns into a tentacle monster. For some reason, I don't know. Attacks Superman. Everybody starts running because and basically it's Bendix controlling him. He knows that, and he's like, Bendix, they're gonna expose you right now. He's like, nobody's gonna expose me. You don't even know because half of the people in your own country agree with me. They want superheroes on. Like you, they don't even want you here. So go ahead, expose me. It don't matter. I control public opinion. So while Crypto jumps in, Superboy, Superman, whatever, jumps in, and Jay's is like, look, I'll take him out. So he phases through him, does something basically because he knows it was like a chip controlling him, the same way they were controlling like that metahuman from the last issue, and he removes the chip from his brain, And while he's doing that, Henderson shrinks back down to normal. But the thing is, he has his mask off. So now his identity has been exposed. Jay's been doing everything he can to not be noticed by the public. Now he's noticed by the public. So, yeah. So that's the end of that book.
Because his mask came off.
Yeah, because when he went inside of that dude's brain, like he phased with his mask in the phase, or he needed to take his mask off to like see better or something.
But one of the reasons why all these people at January 6th are being identified during a pandemic
because they weren't wearing masks. Right. Even though it would have just that would have been the perfect time to wear a mask. But whatever.
Yeah. But masks are for pussies because it was all a hoax.
Right. Real men stormed the Capitol where everybody can see me. Okay.
Yeah. The whole thing where he's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you expose me because they don't give a shit. And that's so true.
Yes, that is. We're not going to say it, but we know where they were going with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It does not matter what the
because
fuck
just because
happened.
You disagree with me, there were way more people out there that aren't saying anything that agree with what I'm doing right now, and they're going to back me, and they're going to support me, and give me money to basically push my agenda to get rid of you guys.
Yeah.
What up, Valerie? You can bulleting. It's like a sex thing. Bulleting. I'm not into that.
Thanks.
Or maybe I am into that. I don't know.
Well, thanks for listening. Shout out.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. So yeah, overall, I do think this book was kind of a filler. Didn't really a whole lot happen. It's kind of still building up to what's going to happen. Aha, back to you, Valerie. So I think it's just building up to what's coming. So I think there is going to be a big thing going on. I do feel like I need to start picking up the Nightwing book because they're hopping into each other's books so much that I feel like I'm losing something if I don't.
Oh yeah, and the Nightwing book is great too.
Also, random high. Aha, so random high. Oh, you meant to say, don't worry, Valerie. We understand spell check. We screw up all the time on here. Well, not all the time. We're perfect most of the time. Yeah. But yeah, what you got next?
I have Do a Powerbomb #1.
Do a Powerbomb #1. Okay.
So I got a double dose of D-Dub. Do I have a Chrome or no? It's a window, right? Let me get that up. So Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm a huge fan. He's the one who did Murdo Falcon. He did Extremity. He did that Wonder Woman Dead Earth. He did the Beta Ray Bill book last year for Marvel.
I'm still waiting to drop on Marvel Unlimited so I can just read it all at one time.
Yeah. So this is another one of his babies. Written, drawn. I think Mike Spicer is doing Mike Spicer doing the colors. But Daniel Warren Johnson, writer, pencils, ink, creator. And this is his showing his love for wrestling. See, the thing about Daniel Warren Johnson is he gets into stuff. Like you can tell what he's into, and that he has a passion for it. We saw he's such a fan of heavy metal through Murder Falcon. We got a sense of how much art means to him through Extremity. And he gets into these characters. We got a sense that he always might have felt like an outsider, like Beta Ray Bill. And his books have so much heart to them. So basically, shows his love for pro wrestling.
Okay.
I follow him on Instagram, and he is always drawing wrestlers. Kenny Omega doing some flip off the top rope and shit, just because that's what he.
Kenny Omega can play the shit out some Street Fighter. He actually ended like a tournament. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a wrestling story. Basically, it's about a girl whose mom was a pro wrestler who was killed inside the ring when she was little, and then she tries to become a wrestler as she grows up. The problem is her family don't want her training. That trauma has transcended throughout the years, and they just don't want her to become a wrestler because they're afraid she's gonna die in a ring like her mom. So there's a lot of like emotional drama going on. And but at the end of the book, there's this weird twist where some dude shows up, some weird like he calls himself a necromancer, and he takes her to some other weird wrestling dimension where she has to fight in some weird Mortal Kombat type of tournament to prove her worthiness, and also find where her mother is, that her mother is still alive in this other realm. So it gets all weird and fantastical at the end. It kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm like, okay, and that's where the book ends, you know. But yeah, it again, it shows a lot. There's a lot of heart. The first part of the book is all about the mom. So when she died, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like the first 10 pages was just about the mom, and she was like a champ. She was the champ. She had the belt, and she went into her match, and the people loved her, and she was on the mic talking to the audience, telling her how she wrestles for her family, and but you are a part of my family too, and then the fans go wild, and so she was a really popular wrestler. And then they start doing the match, and the heel, the wrestler that she was fighting, you could totally believe, like, they were talking shit, and this, totally believable as the heel. But when they do the move and she slips, and the opponent goes, oh no, like she realized, oh crap, I made a mistake, and that's why she dropped her wrong. So it was an act, but they made a mistake, and then she ends up dying because she slipped in the ring, and she landed wrong during one of the moves and broke her neck. And yeah, it was like it came from out of nowhere, like, oh my god, like she died, and then the girl was watching in the audience as it happened, and then her mom died, and then it cuts to like 10 years later, and she's like trying to be a wrestler. So already he's setting up like there's an emotional weight, and that's a lot of his books. Like even in Murder Falcon, Murder Falcon was about a heavy metal fan who fights demons with a mutant bird monster with a robot arm, and they use the power of heavy metal music to destroy demons. It's a totally stupid, campy idea, but it had a lot of emotional heart to it. So yeah, that's in here. Same thing with Beta Ray Bill. Same thing with Wonder Woman. That Wonder Woman Dead Earth, when she wakes up and realizes that she didn't save the world and shit. She feels guilty. And then she finds out that the she was fighting were mutated Amazons. Totally fucked me. Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yeah, you can totally tell that he loves what he's like. The story, his creator-owned works, he really loves what he's doing. You can tell just by he's totally having fun, and I like his style. Might be a little, rough and raw, but I like that. I like his style.
Plus, it's signature. It's his style.
Yeah, you see it. That's Daniel Warren. That's DW. That's DW right there. It's very raw and kinetic and visceral, but it's also raw in emotion. It feeds into the drama. It highlights the drama. So yeah, this is like my book of the week. I'm excited for this. I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, but the story already hooked me. So yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm booked out.
You're booked out. Okay. Now it's just on me. Okay. All right. So the book, I'm going to cheat and do a book because this was free on DC Universe, but I want to talk about it anyway. This is Young Justice, but it's like the Young Justice based on the TV show. And it's actually in continuity with the TV show. And matter of fact, the only continuity is written by the showrunner. Greg Wiseman, whatever his name is. Yeah, like that. So time-wise, I try to match up the timeline to it. I think the timeline is actually takes place after season 4, which is the last season that just dropped. Like the last episode of season 4 just dropped, I think like this week or last week, or one of those. Times get confusing, but it's very recent, so it takes place after that. So if you've seen that, you kind of know what's going on. However, this story kind of takes place parallel to what's going on in that one. So even if you haven't seen what's going on in that one, you'll have a feel about what's going on. So let me see if I can find that. Let's see, Young Justice. Here we go. All right, so Young Justice Target number 1. I think it's going to be at least a mini series, if nothing else. We'll just jump into it. So if you haven't seen season 4 of Young Justice, I'll try to speed you up and let you know what's going on. Basically, what's going on, Beast Boy and his girlfriend broke up, but his girlfriend is now in trouble. So they call in the Outsiders, who what Young Justice changed the name to now. Young Justice is a weird show. We haven't seen the Young Justice team in 2 seasons. They just do other shit, But anyway, he's like, Stargirl is like, look, you can't come on the mission because it's your ex in trouble. And okay, so Beast Boy got into drugs on season 4. So they basically like kicked him off the team for like a whole year. But now he's bouncing back and trying to recover. So he wants this to be his first mission because his ex is in trouble. She's like, nah, you can't come on the mission. And he's like, no, I'm coming on the mission. I used to leave the team, so I'm going to leave the team. No, you ain't. So anyway, they go on there. They cut to 2 days early about how she got in trouble. So she's coming to Star City. And basically her bodyguards in Star City is going to be the Harper brothers. If you haven't been keeping up with Young Justice, all the Harpers are cloned. You got Speedy, who's a clone. You got Arsenal, who's I think the original one, and you got Guardian, who's an older clone than them, and this other dude named Harlan Matthews. We don't know who he is. We will find out later on. That's gonna be your bodyguards, and they call themselves Bowhunter Security. Really awesome episode if you can see it on season 3. It's on HBO Max right now. But anyway, they meet the Queen. She wants to go to Star City. The reason she wants to go to Star City, and her uncle Count Vertigo, who's always trying to kill her all the time in these shows. He gets broken out of jail by some weird robot drone looking dudes. But not only he get free, some of the other supervillains in there also, like Dr. Triple X and some other people like that, they all coming with him. Like, let's go fuck some shit up. Oh, and let's go kill my niece also so I can become the king. So I can go from Count Vertigo to King Vertigo and rule the country, So we're in Star City. And all the Harpers are talking and basically just saying, we're going to take a detour and we're going to go to Star Labs. The reason she wants to go to Star Labs because she's thinking about bringing Star Labs to her country so they can do research and blah, 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 whatever like that. Meanwhile, when she gets to Star Lab, she runs into not only Dr. Roquette, who's in episode 1, she runs into Ollie and Dinah, Green Arrow and Black Canary. So they're there kind of like to back up their backup, While they're shaking hands, next thing you know, what happens? Those crazy dudes jump through there, start fucking up shit, start destroying shit. So, of course, and the other dude that the Harpers brought in, they don't know about, gets stabbed in the eye. And they're like, oh, go full Clayface. So that other dude nobody knew about was Clayface. Clayface is on the security team with them also. So he just goes out Clayface, start beating up people, shit like that. They all going, like I said, Young Justice not even in this book. This is about some other shit. Oh, and this is funny. Ali just goes to Speedy, like, Speedy, do maneuver 7. You're like, wait, what? I'm not your fucking sidekick anymore. But anyway, they just go into mode. He does his thing. They do some shit. It doesn't matter. The guys like tranquilize all of them, knock them out, take them all out, kidnap the Queen, and they leave. And that's the book. Other shit happens. I don't care. But stick with the book, seeing what happens, Like I said, love Young Justice, even though the show stopped being about Young Justice after season 2. Although the season finale of season 4 did finally have Young Justice show back up. They're all in their 30s now, so they're not even young anymore. Like Aquaboy has a beard, like what the fuck's going on with this shit, but they just back doing shit. But yeah, it's a cool story. I'll probably just stick with it to see what's going on from that one. So I am booked out myself. So yeah. Like I said, appreciate everybody sticking around. I know it's a long about wrong. I hate that we had to spend so much time doing a shitty book, but hopefully people will just get traction also. Because everybody else shitting on it, we might as well too. Let's monkey see, monkey do. Might as well. Hopefully everybody had a good Juneteenth, Father's Day, Pride, having a good Pride month. I know it used to be called Black Music History Month when I was growing up. Hope you're having that also. So yeah. So if you're a Black gay father musician, you hit the jackpot.
You're
Just hopefully
keep the party going.
yeah, you have reached Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan levels because you basically like Haley's Comet. Yeah, this shit ain't gonna happen again. I don't know what we'll do next week. We'll follow up next week. Oh, you're gonna do the Obi-Wan finale.
I will. I probably
Unless
will.
it gets postponed. I don't know. Maybe it gets postponed. I don't know. So and stay with us next week. We'll do some more shit. We'll jump on. We'll have some fun shit for you. Hopefully some good comics will come out next week. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.